Hello, and welcome to the Overcomers Counseling Podcast. Our mission is to provide you with the knowledge and resources you need to embark on a journey of healing, self-discovery, and personal growth. Whether you're curious about therapy or counseling, or you're already on the path of mental health recovery, our podcast is designed to enlighten, inspire, and empower you. Broadcasting proudly from Colorado, we bring you thoughts and opinions from licensed experts, insights into different therapeutic approaches, and stories of resilience and recovery from across the globe. We believe that understanding is the first step towards overcoming, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. So, whether you're tuning in from the tranquil peaks of the Rockies or from anywhere around the world, we're glad you're here. Together, let's navigate the path toward mental well-being, one episode at a time. Welcome to the Overcomers Counseling Podcast, where healing begins with understanding. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that affects many people. Not just here in Colorado Springs and the larger Colorado area, but across the globe. Depression. Depression is a complex condition that can feel like a heavy cloud, coloring our world gray and sapping joy from our lives. But remember, even in the midst of a storm, the sun still shines above the clouds. And that's what we're here to discuss today, how to navigate through that storm and find your sunshine again. So what do we know about the causes of depression? Well, it's usually not one single factor, but a combination of genetic, biological, environmental, and psychological aspects. It could be a family history of depression, personal life experiences such as trauma or loss, or even certain medical conditions. Understanding the root causes of your depression can provide valuable insight into the most effective treatment strategies. And this is where the journey to overcoming depression begins, understanding. What is a root cause? Simply put, a root cause is the underlying reason or source of a problem. So when it comes to depression, identifying and addressing the root causes allows for more targeted and effective treatment. For example, if the root cause of your depression is trauma from childhood abuse, traditional talk therapy may not be as effective as trauma-focused therapies such as EMDR or CBT. Or if a medical condition is contributing to your depression, medication or lifestyle changes may be necessary in addition to therapy. It's important to note that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to treating depression. Each person's journey will be unique and require different strategies. And this is where seeking professional help can make all the difference. Some examples of root causes can include genetic predisposition. Some people may be genetically predisposed to depression due to the mental health history of their family members. Early childhood trauma, experiences of abuse, neglect, or other traumatic events in early life can contribute to changes in brain function that make a person more susceptible to depression. Personal life experiences, major life changes, stressful events, or loss, such as the death of a loved one, a breakup, or job loss, can trigger episodes of depression. Certain chronic illnesses, including diabetes, cancer, heart disease, and Parkinson's disease, can trigger symptoms of depression. Alcohol and drug abuse can both lead to and result from depression. Many people with depression also have substance use disorders. Some drugs, including some high blood pressure, medications, or sleeping pills, can increase your risk of depression. Changes in the body's balance of hormones, such as during pregnancy or menopause, may trigger depression. Now, let's talk about the path to recovery. Here at Overcomers Counseling, our focus is on helping you develop coping skills and strategies to manage your depression effectively. We employ various treatment options like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, interpersonal therapy, and psychodynamic therapy. Medication can also be an option when necessary, CBT. This is a popular form of psychotherapy that aims to change patterns of thinking or behavior that are causing people's problems. CBT works on the idea that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all interconnected, and by changing one, we can affect the others. For example, in a session, the therapist might help you identify negative thought patterns and challenge them, replacing them with healthier, more positive thoughts. Through this process, you can learn to manage your depression more effectively. Another popular therapy method is called IPT, or interpersonal psychotherapy. IPT focuses on improving the quality of a person's interpersonal relationships and social functioning to help reduce their depression. During IPT sessions, the therapist might work with you to improve your communication skills, increase self-esteem, or manage conflicts better. For instance, if you're struggling with a relationship, the therapist might guide you through strategies for expressing your feelings constructively and resolving disagreements in a healthy way. Psychodynamic therapy, also known as PDT, is another popular method. This therapy is based on the idea that our unconscious mind holds on to painful feelings and memories, which can result in depression. Psychodynamic therapy involves exploring these unconscious thoughts and feelings to understand how they are affecting your current behavior and mood. When therapy alone isn't enough, medication can be an effective part of a comprehensive treatment plan for depression. Antidepressants can help correct chemical imbalances in the brain associated with depression. It's important to note that medication works differently for everyone. So what works best will depend on the individual's specific symptoms, overall health, and the presence of any co-occurring mental or physical health disorders. Always consult with a healthcare professional before starting any medication regimen for depression. Now let's go to the commonly asked questions we get as therapists and counselors. I can answer some of those right now. One question we often get is, what can happen if I don't seek help for my depression? This is a crucial question. Ignoring depression can exacerbate symptoms and make it more challenging to manage over time. These intensified symptoms can negatively impact your personal, professional, and social life, leading to feelings of isolation and even thoughts of self-harm or suicide. So seeking help is not just beneficial, but vital to your health and well-being. Another common question is, how long does depression counseling typically take? The duration varies for each individual, depending on the severity of their depression and their progress in therapy. Our therapists at Overcomers Counseling will regularly assess your progress and adjust your treatment plan as needed. The journey may be short or long, but remember, healing isn't linear and every step forward is a victory. What resources are available to help me cope with depression? There are many, including support groups, online forums, books, and websites dedicated to mental health and wellness. Connecting with others who are navigating similar struggles can be especially beneficial. Additionally, talking to a trusted friend or family member can provide much-needed social support during difficult times. A crucial part of therapy is communication, which leads to the next question. Can I talk openly about my feelings to the therapist? Absolutely. In fact, we strongly encourage you to open up. Your therapist is there to serve as an unbiased source of support, who will respect any thoughts or feelings shared within the session without judgment or criticism. It's through this open dialogue that we can gain deeper insight into your situation and develop the most effective treatment plan for you. Lastly, many people wonder, how can I tell if my depression is serious enough to seek professional help? If your symptoms have been persistent and interfere with your daily life, it's important to seek help from a mental health professional. And no matter what, if you experience any thoughts of self-harm or suicide, it's crucial to reach out to a healthcare provider immediately. Each person's journey with depression is unique, which is why our therapists work closely with you to develop a personalized treatment plan that addresses your specific needs and goals. Remember, overcoming depression is achievable with the right support and guidance. If you're listening to this in Colorado Springs or anywhere else in the beautiful state of Colorado and you're grappling with depression, know that help is available. Don't let depression control your life any longer. You have the power to take charge of your mental health and well-being. We're halfway through our podcast, and we'd like to take a moment to remind you who's bringing this episode to your ears. We are Overcomers Counseling, a team of licensed professional counselors with diverse therapeutic expertise and life experiences. We believe in the power of facing fears, overcoming obstacles, and living life freely and fully. Our passion is helping you become the best version of yourself, tackling life's stressors head-on with a solution-focused approach. In our safe and trustworthy environment, we collaborate with you, making your goals our goals, turning them into reality. So remember, whatever you're facing, you don't have to do it alone. We are Overcomers Counseling, and we're here for you. Now let's get back to the podcast. Welcome back to the second half of this episode from Overcomers Counseling. We're continuing our conversation on anxiety, a topic that affects many of us in different ways. Anxiety manifests itself uniquely for everyone, but common symptoms include excessive worry, restlessness, difficulty concentrating, irritability, muscle tension, and sleep disturbances. In more severe cases, can lead to panic attacks, which are sudden episodes of intense fear that come with physical symptoms such as rapid heartbeat, shortness of breath, crying, and dizziness. Recognizing these symptoms is crucial in identifying anxiety and seeking appropriate help. Now let's delve into the causes and origins of anxiety. Anxiety can stem from various factors, including genetics, brain chemistry, personality traits, and life experiences. Traumatic events, high levels of stress, or a history of mental health issues in the family can all contribute to the development of anxiety disorders. Understanding the root causes of your anxiety can provide valuable insight into the most effective treatment strategies. Anxiety can have a serious impact on an individual's life. It can cause difficulty in establishing and maintaining relationships, poor work performance, and social isolation. Physical symptoms such as headaches, digestive problems, and fatigue can worsen due to prolonged anxiety. These issues can also lead to feelings of guilt or shame, further exacerbating the condition. At Overcomers Counseling, we focus on helping clients develop coping skills and strategies to manage their anxiety effectively. A common question we get is, how do we explain anxiety to someone who does not have it or has never experienced it? If you've never experienced anxiety yourself, understanding it can be quite challenging. So when explaining anxiety to someone who hasn't experienced it, it's crucial to describe its physical symptoms, like rapid breathing and increased heart rate. Additionally, it's essential to convey how anxiety impacts your daily life and emotions. This honest and open communication can help bridge the understanding gap. Anxiety's impact on people's lives can be profound. For many, it's a constant presence, affecting how they interact with the world and make decisions. It can transform simple tasks into overwhelming challenges and lead to avoidance behaviors. In severe cases, anxiety can be utterly debilitating, preventing individuals from leading normal lives. So how might you paint a picture of what it's like to live with anxiety? You could say, anxiety makes me feel nervous, always on edge, and constantly overwhelmed. Since my anxiety started, everyday activities like socializing or going to work have become challenging. Sometimes my anxiety is so intense that it keeps me from leaving the house. I have to plan out every minute of my day to cope with it. When explaining anxiety, try to avoid using technical jargon that may confuse the listener. Instead, stick with clear, concise language and concrete examples that are easy for anyone to understand. It's also important to remember that everyone's experience with anxiety is different. So focus on sharing your own experiences rather than trying to speak for everyone who has this condition. For example, you could say, anxiety is different for everyone, so it's important to remember that we all experience and express it in our own way. Being patient with the person you're speaking to is crucial, as it may take some time for them to fully understand what anxiety is and how it impacts your life. How to start a conversation when you have social anxiety. Starting a conversation with someone when you have social anxiety can be a challenge. You may feel like you're stuck in your own head, and that makes it hard to connect with other people. This can cause you to feel even more anxious and alone. But there are some things you can do to make the process easier. One strategy that can be effective when learning how to start a conversation when you have social anxiety is to prepare for conversations in advance. This can involve thinking about potential topics of conversation, brainstorming possible responses to common conversational starters, and practicing with a friend or family member. By taking the time to plan, you can help reduce some of the anxiety associated with starting a conversation. Additionally, it can be helpful to focus on your breathing and relaxation techniques during a conversation. This can help to keep you calm and prevent your anxiety from interfering with your ability to communicate effectively. If you find yourself getting tense or feeling overwhelmed, simply excuse yourself for a moment to take a few deep breaths. With practice and patience, you will eventually be able to overcome your social anxiety and enjoy conversations like everyone else. Many people with social anxiety find small talk to be the most difficult part of a conversation. They worry about saying something stupid or being rejected by the other person. Starting with small talk can actually be a great way to ease into a conversation. It helps to get rid of any awkwardness, and it gives you a chance to warm up before diving into more personal topics. Some examples of small talk starters are, did you see the game last night? Have you been to this restaurant before? I love your shoes. Where did you get them? Once you get started, you may find that the small talk leads to more interesting conversations. So next time you're feeling anxious about starting a conversation, try making some small talk. It could be the first step to making a new friend. Next, let's talk about the importance of body language. Some people do not think about it much, but one of the best ways to ease into a conversation is by using body language to your advantage. Make eye contact and smile when you see somebody you want to talk to. Once you've made contact, approach slowly and try not to cross your arms or seem closed off. If the other person seems receptive, continue the conversation by asking questions and seeking common ground. And if things start to feel overwhelming, simply excuse yourself and take a break. With a little practice, you'll be able to use body language to your advantage and make social anxiety a thing of the past. Small talk can be a great way to break the ice, but if you start to feel anxious, take a break. Excuse yourself from the person you're talking to for a moment, take some deep breaths, and remind yourself that there's no reason to be nervous. Everyone feels awkward in social situations sometimes, and the other person is probably just as nervous as you are. Once you've calmed down, rejoin the conversation and see how it goes. With a little practice, you'll be able to start conversations with ease. Practice, practice, practice. One of the best ways to reduce stress is to practice ahead of time. By role-playing with a friend or family member, you'll become more comfortable with the back and forth of conversation. You can also try focusing on your breathing to calm yourself before starting a conversation. And if you're worried about saying the wrong thing, remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes and that the other person is likely to be understanding. With a little practice, you'll be able to start conversations more easily and enjoy social interactions without stress. At Overcomers Counseling, we can help you with your anxiety. Our treatment options may include cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, exposure therapy, relaxation techniques, mindfulness practices, and medication when needed. Our therapists work closely with clients to develop a personalized treatment plan that addresses their unique needs and goals. Now let's answer some common questions about anxiety. Why is it important to address anxiety? Addressing anxiety is crucial because it can significantly impact your quality of life and overall well-being. Left untreated, anxiety can lead to more severe mental health issues, relationship problems, and difficulty functioning in daily life. What can happen if I don't seek help for my anxiety? Ignoring anxiety can exacerbate symptoms and make it more challenging to manage over time. This can result in a negative impact on your personal, professional, and social life, leading to feelings of isolation and even depression. How long does anxiety counseling typically take? The duration of anxiety counseling varies for each individual, depending on the severity of their anxiety and their progress in therapy. Our therapists will regularly assess your progress and adjust your treatment plan as needed. Finally, how do I know if my therapist is a good fit for me? It's important that you feel comfortable discussing personal matters with your therapist. Finding someone who meets certain criteria like experience level, expertise areas, and personality is key when selecting a therapist who can give meaningful feedback about how best to handle issues related to anxiety or other mental health concerns. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for joining us here at Overcomers Counseling. Remember, you're not alone in your journey, and together we can overcome. Before we wrap up, we'd like to remind you to subscribe to our podcast. It's the easiest way to stay updated with our latest episodes and join us on this journey towards understanding mental health. We're constantly sharing new insights, tips, and resources to help you overcome your challenges and live a life of well-being. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button today. Thank you for your support.